So I obviously have a mess here. I've been busy, kinda, in a weird way. Not getting enough done and getting a lot of little things done. So we'll talk about it. More bait making stuff coming your way. Old school right there for sure. I'll be right back. So here we are. It's gonna be 80 degrees today. I hurt my back. I talked in a fishing video the other day about that. It's different, but it's not really better. I may try to go this afternoon. The wind's 35, 40 mile an hour again, and it's making a heck on painting these baits and things. I did some yesterday. You probably can't see how much. Yeah, you can. I got paint on my hand. When you're painting that wind, it's not good. So anyway, we're back to where we was a week or so ago. I've got some baits here. I'm in process of building, putting some final touches on some of them. Now, if y'all remember this one, that's one I painted in the video last week, trying to do a brim pattern on a 2.5-inch square bill. What I did outside the video is I put a black stripe down the very back to darken it up a little bit. Just going with the lavender, blue, purple is not enough. Put just a strip of this. That's all I did. I should have showed it on video, but it's just too windy, and I got lucky. It got done that good, I think. I've also added with paint pens or Sharpies the gill dot on the gill cover and the red for the gills. Now that's so unnecessary, but I think it adds a nice touch to the bait. It makes it look finished. It don't take but a few seconds to do. Now the final thing for this bait and for a bunch of these baits I've been doing is putting eyeballs on them. Now eyes again are not necessary. They're a finishing touch. Now, except I think on jerkbait, I think sometimes the eyes could be everything. That's a whole nother story for another day, maybe. Maybe Randy or somebody's already talked about that. So I'm going to put eyeballs on that bait right there, and it's going to be ready for the final process, and we'll talk about that. Now these eyeballs, eyes, come in a variety of unlimited, almost colors and sizes, and they come to you. Everything I do is a mess. This is not for old man fingers, you know. They come on a card like that with a little bit of real light plastic over them. I try to keep them nice and neat. In all truthfulness, that's worked fine for me for a long time. But I intended to super glue these on because I've had them, especially on jerk baits, I've had them come off on me, which doesn't bother me a bit. But when you're selling, they probably need to be better than that. But my super glue, I didn't get any new. I just dry it up because that's what super glue does. There's what the bait looks like with the eyeballs. Again, they're 3D eyeball. They have some depth. It's just a nice touch to the bait, you know. It's just not critical, but especially if I'm selling baits, people aren't going to buy them without eyeballs. Now, that being said, we take our wiggle wart style baits that I make. Here's a rock crawler. I made this since I did the video last. Eyeball in it, just a dot of paint. So unnecessary, but it would look very incomplete without that dot of paint. Is that good looking bait? You like that one? Rock crawler style, yeah. Again, the Sharpie or a paint pen. I did do the paint pens. Paint pens do a better job. I'm not sure if these paint pens are going to work with the next process. And I'm not even ready for the next process, but we got to get this video done. We got to get this video out, so I'm going to work on it. I'm going to cheat a little bit and make the next process work. Even though I'm not ready, I don't have my right deal here. I'm not going to go home just to get it. So let's talk about the final thing it takes to make these baits, well, other than hooks and hardware, okay? We're going to talk about what we do to finish the bait. Is this working for y'all at all? It's not working. I'm not feeling the vibe. I need some Skinner on TV. That'd be copyright stuff, trademark. Never mind. I just realized I have one here. It still has tape on the bill. I hadn't showed that. And it's just masking tape. And there are differences in masking tape. Do not buy the masking tape. It's called duck tape. D-U-C. Horrible. There's a modeler's version of masking tape. It is excellent. It's thinner. It's easier to manipulate. I don't use. I had some years ago when I did model car stuff. This regular masking tape, the cheapest stuff you can buy anywhere, and you just simply tape it on and untape it. Now, let's get to a little something here I saw. See that little spot in that bill? It's right there. Oops. That is my perfect attempt at perfection. Now it'll come right off, a little bit of sandpaper. I don't worry about that stuff for my baits. I just don't. I should worry about it more. If I'm gonna be selling baits, that may bother somebody. I would hope not, but I'll get that knocked off. Just wanted to show y'all. Very simple. Don't make this complicated. It's not that hard to do. Okay, we're gonna get ready for the next process now. It's a little bit of a process. It works. Works for me anyway. Okay, instead of going to the home and getting everything I gotta get this going. My back hurts. I want to get started on this. I may go fishing later. Probably not. So what I usually do is I have a block of foam, like the packing foam. Well, let me get my lazy butt up and show you. You know, like packing foam, it comes in like that. Now, I use these boxes, or I use this to stick in to hold lures on my, with my clips. But I've got a long piece of that. What I generally do is I put that piece of foam, it's almost 5 foot long, I stretch it across 2 heights, and I stick the bait like this, and I dip it in my clear, and I just let it hang like that. I don't have that, so I had to improvise. We're going to do this a little bit different. This will work. This is why I did it years and years ago. It'll work for purposes of education. So this is some real science, y'all. What I have is Minwax polyacrylic crystal clear top coat. Now this is in a semi-gloss. I don't really want real shiny. I mean, it can be done. It's worked for me, and I've had this one for a couple years. It's hard to use it up. What I'll be doing is I'm going to use fishing line with my bait tied to it. I'm going to dunk it in that and pull it out very slowly. It's important not to yank it back out. It just builds too much up on the bait. Pull it very slowly. I use a paintbrush or something to help hold it level as I pull it out. And this is a process. I let it drip for a while. I'll then tie it to this stick, this old broomstick, with a piece of cardboard below because it drips. Okay? Not hard to do. Now here's the trick to this. You gotta go slow. If you pull it out too fast, you build up a bunch on it and it builds up on the bait. It can change the way the bait runs. Thick spots aren't good. I've had it sit in this window all morning where it's warm. I think warm's important. Humidity's not too bad for drying. And after it sits there for a few minutes, I'll take this and I'll go across the back of the bait at the bottom. I'll take excess off. You'll get a big old bubble on the back. Now this does plug up the eyes. It's no big deal. You let it dry a couple days, you unplug the eyes, and you're good to go. Actually, a day is fine. When it still kind of feels gummy, I feel like it's a little bit wet yet. But that's what I do. It's pretty simple. And I know there's easier ways to do this. I'm sure the airbrush guy, look at that hanging, look at that, I'm really good. The airbrush guy's got it whipped this way. I've done it for years. It also seals the bait. Now, I've had one bait ever since I've been doing this with these new blanks the last 7 or 8 years. I've had one bait that probably had a leak in it. But old baits, you got an old bait takes on water. If you get good and dry, you seal it that way, it seals it up, it's still good. So we're going to try this, see if I can make this work. I know I can make it work. What am I talking about? Again, I'm pulling out very slow. I'm letting this drain off. Give it plenty of time. I'm not going to get in any hurry. It's good and warm. That helps. I probably take as much as a full minute on a jerk bait to pull it out. Now, I'll let it drip a drip or two right here, and I'll get hanging. Is this boring? Fun's what it is. It's fun to see that thing come out and how pretty it looks, how much it shines and whatever. And this is not the gloss. This is a semi-gloss. They make one that's flatter yet, but I like this one plenty enough. Okay, this is definitely not as easy as my other method using my clips, but this works. And what I'll do after it sits there, I'll do a couple more baits, and then I'll take my brush or stick, whatever, and I'll go down the back and I knock excess off, and you'll get it like that. Especially fat bait's going to drain some. Jerk baits, if you go too fast, you're going to drain more. And I'm sure you can just put it in and yank it right back out, y'all. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to take a slap because this is therapeutic. This is this is supposed to be relaxing. I start selling these things, it may not be, but come on, tell me y'all wouldn't buy that bait right there. Look at that thing. Ain't it purty? I'm going to get back doing a bunch more of these while I got everything going. I got my polyacrylic open. I got everything here in line. I'm going to go ahead and do a bunch more, and I'll close this thing out. I just realized how ignorant that was, doing that rock crawler first when I got this brim. Kind of been following along, so I'm going to do it next. We'll see what it comes out like. I shouldn't be allowed, should I? I just shouldn't be allowed. There's what that girl looks like. Looks pretty good. I also did. I'm just horrible. I generally try to keep everything right in arm's reach when I'm doing this too. I'm having to move with my improvisation. I got this bait too. This the different version. I did a bunch of those in the brim. Well, a bunch. I get bored painting the same thing all the time. I've said that. I could paint every bait different and be happy. But I did 7 of those like that too. So whole different crankbait. So that's it. That's what I got. Oh, I wish my back didn't hurt. Oh. Okay, so that's where we're at. I'm going to do probably 20 of these baits because I don't have my block. That block is 5.5 foot long. I've got a stiffener on it with some cardboard, but I can poke them sticks underneath that thing. I can probably put 60, 70 baits on it pretty easy. I'm not that energetic today. This back thing's really got me down. It got better and it got worse again. So I may try to do some fishing or something. 40 mile-an-hour winds. I'm rambling. That's how I do my baits. Other than that, split rings, hardware, and hooks. I do not spend a lot of money on hooks. I'm not going to. I'm not going to buy Gamakatsus or triple grip musteads because the only difference between a high dollar hook and a regular hook, now not a cheap hook, but a regular hook, is about 50 casts. And then they all need to be resharpened. Whatever. That's the way I do it. What I do works for me. May not work for selling these things. Any questions, y'all, let me know. I appreciate it. I've got some people who followed this pretty close. I've got one man in particular. If I can remember, I'll put his pictures in here. Has took this real serious. His wife may leave him over all the spray paint, though. We may have issues there. I'm glad some people get something out of this. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get back to this. God bless. Hope you're having a glorious day. My back hurts.